A man bought 818,000 bitcoins and told the world never sell, not even if you need a kidney. The other man has been screaming for 14 years that the same bitcoin is a bubble, a fool's gold, and a scam waiting to crash. They argue on X, they argue on TV, and they argue in front of millions of people. And in May 2026, just days ago, one of them blinked. Welcome to the Bitcoin versus Gold War. I am your host Saloni, and over the next 6 episodes, I am going to walk you through every twist, every tweet, and every receipt of one of the longest, loudest fight in modern finance. Michael Saylor versus Peter Schiff. Let's go. Michael Saylor runs a company called Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy. For 30 years, it was a quiet software firm. Then in August 2020, Saylor did something that no boss of a big public company had ever done before. He took his company's cash and bought Bitcoin with it. Then he kept doing it over and over again. He sold company shares, raised money through bonds, and even created new financial products like STRC to buy more Bitcoin. Now 6 years later, his company owns 818,334 Bitcoins, nearly 4% of all the Bitcoin that will ever exist, worth about $64 billion at current prices. To Saylor, Bitcoin is more than just a coin or a token. He calls it a digital property, the best real estate in the universe, a land that nobody can build more of, a wall that nobody can break into. He talks about Bitcoin the way a poet talks about love. Now meet the other side, Peter Schiff. Born in 1963, son of a famous tax protester, trained as an economist. He has been on financial television for decades, and he is famous for two things. First, he predicted the 2008 housing crash years before it happened. And second, he hated Bitcoin since 2011. Peter Schiff sells physical gold through his company Schiff Gold. To him, gold is real money because people have trusted it for thousands of years. It cannot be printed endlessly or hacked online. According to Peter, if Bitcoin wants to be the new gold, it first has to prove that it can last as long as gold has. His favorite phrase for Bitcoin: digital fool's gold.
But meanwhile, digital gold is not digital gold; it's fool's gold, and I think the fools are going to figure this out the hard way.
Yes, that's the actual line. He has used it for over a decade. He says Bitcoin has no real-world use, no rental income, and no factory-making things. Just a price chart and a story. Here's why this fight matters, even though if you never bought Bitcoin or gold. These two men influence markets. When Saylor buys Bitcoin, prices often react fast. When Schiff speaks, gold investors pay attention, and crypto debates heat up. Both have huge followings on X. Both influence how investors think. Saylor proved that a public company could buy Bitcoin without falling apart. After that, Tesla did it, Square did it, and many smaller companies followed too. He helped create corporate Bitcoin strategy. But Schiff has spent years warning people about it, basically saying, slow down you idiots, this ends in tears. Both voices matter. The man who believed when nobody else did, and the man who keeps asking the hard questions when everyone else is busy celebrating. Back in March 2020, the world stopped. Streets emptied and the government started printing money like never before. And one CEO sat in his office, looked at his company's cash pile, and realized that every single day this cash is just sitting here. It is dying a little. This episode is the story of what he did next. Before 2020, MicroStrategy was just a normal software company. Michael Saylor had been CEO since 1989, and the company wasn't very exciting. Its stocks stayed flat for years. Then the pandemic happened. The US printed trillions of dollars. Saylor was worried that the dollar is losing its value. So he started looking at something that he ignored for years: Bitcoin. Once he understood Bitcoin, he went all in. In August 2020, MicroStrategy used $250 million to buy 21,454 bitcoins, something no public company had ever done before. Wall Street thought that he lost his mind. The first purchase was just the warm-up. Saylor invented a playbook nobody had seen before. Sell new company shares, use the money to buy Bitcoin, issue bonds at low interest rates, use the money to buy more Bitcoin, create new types of preferred stock with names like STRK, STRF, STRC, use the money to buy more Bitcoin. He even changed the company's name. MicroStrategy became simply Strategy, because at this point the strategy was Bitcoin. Today, the company holds 818,334 bitcoins, worth around $75,500 per coin. That's the largest corporate Bitcoin treasury in the world, by a wide margin. Before Saylor, no company wanted Bitcoin on its balance sheet. It was seen as too risky. But after Saylor, that changed. Tesla bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin in 2021. And then many smaller companies followed too. And that's how Bitcoin Treasury Company trend started. And Saylor did something else, something arguably bigger. He started teaching for free. Hours and hours of YouTube interviews, long threads on X, and conference talks. He gave away his playbook to anyone who'd listen. He called Bitcoin digital property, the best real estate in the world. Except this real estate exists on every computer, everywhere, all at once. Now we get to the moment that lit the fuse with Peter Schiff. October 31st, 2021. Halloween. Bitcoin is near its all-time high. And Michael Saylor tweets 6 simple words. Bitcoin is money, Peter. Everything else is credit. Read that again. Bitcoin is money, Peter. Everything else is credit. He called out Peter directly. And this wasn't for crypto fans. It was personal. And from that moment, every exchange between these two became a big event for the crypto world. Peter Schiff has been in finance for decades. He runs Schiff Gold, a company that sells real physical gold. He's also the chief economist at Euro Pacific Capital. He runs his own X account with millions of followers, and his entire worldview is built on one belief: that gold is the real money the human race has ever had. Think about it from Peter's side. Gold has been valuable for thousands of years. Kings and governments trusted it. Central banks still store it today. It doesn't need electricity or the internet. You can hold it in your hands, hide it, or pass it to your children. To Peter, that real and physical value is what makes gold special. Peter Schiff has been against Bitcoin since 2011, when it was worth around $10. He called it a bubble and digital fool's gold. To him, Bitcoin has no real-world use, it's just a price chart and a story. For more than 10 years, Peter's advice stayed the same: sell Bitcoin and buy gold. Of course, his business benefits from that. And even after Bitcoin kept hitting new highs and more billionaires supported it, he refused to change his views. Remember Saylor's tweet, "Bitcoin is money, Peter, everything else is credit"? Schiff did not let that one slide. The same day, October 31st, 2021, he replied right under Saylor's post, "You are confusing Bitcoin for gold. Gold is money. Bitcoin is just a digital token people collect and trade. It's not even real currency." Then he ended with, "Happy to debate you anytime, Michael. Game on." It's easy for crypto people to laugh at Peter Schiff. He called Bitcoin a bubble at $10, $10,000, $60,000, and even higher. And Bitcoin kept rising. But Schiff's argument was never really about the price. It was about value, about what actually money should be. And while everyone is focused on how high Bitcoin could go, he kept asking a simple question: does it have a real value? In early 2021, Saylor was at the top of the world. Tesla bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Elon was tweeting laser eyes. Big banks were finally calling Bitcoin an asset class. Saylor was doing podcast after podcast interview after interview explaining the playbook. Then, in May 2021, the music stopped. Bitcoin crashed from $65,000 to under $40,000 in just few weeks. China cracked down on miners, Elon Musk backtracked, and every CEO who copied Saylor were down more than 30%. And from his office in Puerto Rico, Peter Schiff has opened Twitter. May 17, 2021, Peter Schiff tweets that all the CEOs who copied Saylor's, and I quote, asinine. Bitcoin advice are now down 34% in just 1 month. And he ends with 5 savage words. Time to pull the plug. Saylor's first reply? No words. Just a chart, a long-term Bitcoin price chart. Classic seller, calm, almost teasing. As if to say, bro, zoom out. But Saylor did not leave it at a chart. He then posted what may be the most quoted lines ever. He said, "There's no point debating a cynic who stands for nothing, believes in nothing, and offers nothing but fear, uncertainty, doubt, and vitriol." He said since Peter Schiff had no faith in gold, no faith in equities, no faith in bonds, no faith in fiat, Bitcoin wins by default. Crypto Twitter went absolutely wild after this. The phrase "Bitcoin wins by default" became a meme. T-shirts were printed. Whether you love Saylor or not, you could not look away. Bitcoin recovered through 2021. By November, it was at a new all-time high, almost $69,000. Saylor felt the wind at his back, and this time he stopped playing defense. He went hunting. Look at these 2 posts from November 16, 2021. Read what just happened. Saylor used Peter Schiff's own words, Peter's own video to make the kill shot.
Gold is a small part of my portfolio.
If even the world's biggest gold promoter only keeps a small part of his own portfolio in gold, how strong is the case for gold really? Brutal. Same day, second punch. Saylor goes after the gold miners next. His words? Gold miners are sellers of gold, not owners. They don't believe in gold as money. If they did, it would be their primary treasury reserve asset. Schiff replied, he said gold miners are businesses. They sell gold at higher prices in the future. That is their job. But yes, he agreed it would make sense for miners to keep some gold on their balance sheets. But Bitcoin? Still a bubble. The thread blew up with thousands of likes, quotes, and replies. Crypto YouTubers made videos about it, and financial news media picked it up too. Both sides had armies of fans defending their guy. This was the moment the Saylor versus Schiff debate became huge online. After November 2021, they became the face of the Bitcoin versus gold war. Every tweet between them went viral. January 2022, Bitcoin was around $48,000. Then in December, it fell below $17,000. And in between, the Terra Luna stablecoin collapsed in May and wiped out $60 billion in a single week. Three Arrows Capital, a giant crypto hedge fund, went bankrupt. Celsius froze customer funds, and in November, the biggest one of all, FTX, the second biggest crypto exchange in the world, collapsed in just 7 days. MicroStrategy stock fell over 70% that year. Since the company bought Bitcoin around $50,000 to $60,000, it was sitting on huge paper losses. Saylor was getting heavily criticized, while Schiff was enjoying every second of it. Even before the market crash got worse, Michael Saylor was already strongly defending Bitcoin over gold. In March 2022, he even posted a tweet that sounded more poetic, that the work secures the network so that we can channel economic energy through time and space with negligible friction. Bitcoin stores and moves money more efficiently than gold. Schiff replied the same day. His version was a lot less poetic. He said, Bitcoin does not channel energy. It wastes it. He said every Bitcoin transaction is just money moving from a dumb buyer to a smart seller. Ouch. Now here's a fun one. October 3rd, 2022. The US SEC finds Kim Kardashian for promoting a crypto token without telling her followers that she was paid for it. Peter Schiff sees the headlines, opens Twitter, and immediately uses it to attack Saylor by saying Saylor has pumped Bitcoin way harder than Kim ever did. And Saylor came back with this one. Bitcoin is a commodity, not a security. Advocating a commodity is similar to promoting steel, aluminium, concrete, glass, or granite. The BTC network is an open protocol. 2 days later, Schiff fired back. He said, just because a government agency calls Bitcoin a commodity does not actually make it one. The argument went on for weeks. December 2022. Schiff goes on a posting spree. 3 big punches. On December 20, Schiff says Saylor admitted that putting Bitcoin on the company's balance sheet was a Hail Mary to avoid liquidation. He says Saylor was desperate, not visionary. Then on December 29, he tweets MicroStrategy shares hit a new 52-week low, down 90% from their 2021 high. Schiff calls it a going out of business sale. Then, on December 31st, last day of the year, Schiff posed a sharp question. He asked why MicroStrategy only sold 704 Bitcoin for a tax loss, when the company was sitting on over $2 billion in unrealized losses. Was there not enough liquidity? Or was Saylor scared to sell at the bottom? Then 2023 happened. Bitcoin rallied. The 2024 spot Bitcoin ETF approval poured fresh institutional money in. By late 2024, Bitcoin was at 6-figure prices, making new all-time highs. Saylor was vindicated, and on November 12, 2024, he posted just 5 words. You finally made me laugh, Peter. Short, smiling, confident. With Bitcoin at 6 figures, Saylor felt like he could laugh at Peter's warning. But Peter did not stop there. He kept warning through December 2024, questioning MSTR's smaller buys, raising SEC concerns, asking if the model could keep working forever. Even at the top, he was still warning. In the bad times, Peter's warning saved some people from huge losses. And in the good times, Saylor was laughing all the way to the banks. The truth is, the market probably needs both the voices. For 5 years, Michael Saylor told the world never sell your Bitcoin. He literally told an interviewer once, and I am not making this one up, sell a kidney if you must, but keep the Bitcoin. Then, on May 5, 2026, this month, on his own company's earnings call in front of analysts and shareholders, he said something nobody saw coming. And Peter Schiff, he had been waiting 6 years for that exact sentence. Before we get into the drama, you need to know what STRC actually is, because it is at the center of everything. STRC stands for Perpetual Stretch Preferred Stock. Strategy started selling it in 2025. In simple words, STRC is a special type of share. It pays a fixed monthly cash dividend, currently about 11.5% per year. The people who buy STRC are mostly looking for a steady monthly income. Many of them are retirees, older people who do not want to lose their savings. They are not buying it to bet on Bitcoin going to $1 million. They just want a predictable check every month. And what does Strategy do with the money it raises from STRC? Yes, you guessed it. It buys more Bitcoin. The company has roughly $1.5 billion in its yearly dividend obligations across STRC and its other preferred stocks. As long as Bitcoin keeps rising, the system works. And if it stays down for too long, then the pressure starts building. And that's the real risk. Just before the big drama, Saylor and Schiff had a smaller clash in April 2026. Schiff posted a chart saying Bitcoin was up only 12% over the previous 5 years, while gold was up a massive 163%. Game over, he basically said. Saylor came back with this. Time frames matter. Since August 2020, Bitcoin is the top performing major asset and it's not even close. The chart showed Bitcoin at 36% annualized return versus gold at 16, the Nasdaq at 15, and the S&P 500 at 14. Saylor's point was pick the right starting date and Bitcoin wins easily. Chief's reply, that's cherry picking, Mike. Pick a different start date and gold wins. The truth is, both were right about their own numbers. The fight was actually about which time frames to care about. May 5, 2026. Strategy reports its Q1 numbers. $12.54 billion loss for the quarter. Bitcoin had pulled back, and accounting rules forced the company to mark down its Bitcoin holdings on paper. During the earnings call, an analyst asked the question on everyone's mind. How do you keep paying these huge preferred stock dividends if things stay rough? And Saylor said the unthinkable. He said the company might sell a small amount of Bitcoin to help cover the dividends. He even used a strange word, inoculate, like a vaccine, a small controlled dose to protect the rest. Remember, for 5 straight years, Saylor's brand was never said. And in one earnings call, that brand cracked. MSTR stock dropped 4% in after-hours trading. Bitcoin slipped below $81,000, and the crypto world started arguing about it within minutes. Peter Schiff had been waiting for this moment for years, and he did not waste it. On May 11, 2026, he opened with a clean shot. Saylor had just walked back with his never sell promise. To stay a net buyer of Bitcoin, Schiff argued Saylor must always sell at a higher price than he buys. The math gets ugly the moment that cracks. Then, Schiff went bigger. He called STRC in his own words, classic centralized Ponzi run by strategy. He said the dividend is not really paid from business profits, but from money flowing in from new buyers. And then he aimed at the SEC. He asked, how can the SEC allow Saylor to publicly describe STRC as suitable for retirees, whose primary investment objectives are low-risk wealth preservation and income, and who do not want to risk losing principal? Schiff said that is a violation of SEC anti-fraud and marketing rules. He said Saylor's own public comments will help retirees win future lawsuits against MSTR. On May 12, Schiff went after Saylor's most famous phrase. Saylor calls Bitcoin digital property. Schiff replied, okay, but real estate has actual rental income, real tenants, real value. What real value, Schiff asked, does Bitcoin have as digital property? It is property that pays you nothing, that generates no income, that just sits there hoping someone will pay more for it tomorrow. Saylor did not stay quiet. He sat down for a long CoinDesk interview on May 11 and called the entire Bitcoin sale concern, in his own exact words, a big nothing burger. His argument is simple math. For every single Bitcoin that strategy sells to cover dividends, the company is raising fresh capital from STRC to buy 20 to 30 new Bitcoin. So, strategy is still a huge net buyer. The system works as long as Bitcoin grows even 2.3% per year, he said. That is a very low bar. So here we are, May 2026. Strategy holds 818,334 Bitcoins. Bitcoin trades around $80,000. Strategy has roughly 18 months of dividend coverage. STRC still pays its 11.5%, and Peter Schiff is still posting. On May 15, 2026, Schiff replied to yet another Saylor-related post with one simple line. Schiff Gold helps people sell their Bitcoin and buy gold. After 6 years, the pitch has not changed by a single word. If you own crypto, stocks, or even a retirement account, these two men are shaping the markets around you. Michael Saylor pushed companies to buy Bitcoin as treasury asset, while Peter Schiff keeps warning people that risk is real and no asset keeps going up forever. Only time will tell who's right. If Bitcoin keeps rising, Michael Saylor's strategy could work for decades. But if it enters long bear market, then Peter Schiff's warnings could become very real. And right now, nobody truly knows. So who wins this war? Team Saylor, the man who bet everything on Bitcoin, or Team Sheep, the man who kept warning about the risk since 2011? Drop your verdict in the comments and hit subscribe for more such breakdowns. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.